today we are going to be talking about what we ate when we grew up as kids. What was our typical breakfast like?
On the note of where we're overlapping dishes
Mhm.
here,
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you first off, have you tried dulce de leche, the South American dessert?
Is it a cookie?
No, it's like a caramel. Some will eat it on cookies or like bread.
Is it in a package?
It's in a package. It's like caramel, liquidy kind of. It's a milk
Okay.
product.
Yes, yes.
It's made out of
Uh-huh.
what do they call it? Sweet milk. I forgot. But yeah, it's a
Yeah,
milk
yeah.
product basically.
Mhm.
Okay, so when I grew up, we actually had the same exact thing, but different name, and we used it on sliced bread. We called it hotpot. It was after World War II. It was one of like the things you had ingredients to make, basically, and it was something sweet as well. So I grew up with that as something that you have on sliced bread, and then I've heard so much about this dulce de leche when I came here, and I tried it, and I'm like, this is the exact same thing. We just have it for breakfast instead on a piece of bread.
Interesting. I wonder who started it. Well, I don't know. I guess in the end, we all share each other's. Like, you're
Yeah.
not that different throughout the world.
We overlap so many. It's like, who came up with a kebab, or was it the gyro from the Greek, or who came up with meatballs, or was that a Swedish thing, or was it from further south? Like, if you have access to the same ingredients, eventually they will just come up with the same things. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just bound to happen. But okay, I'm digressing. Typical breakfast in Norway. So there were like two main types breakfasts when I grew up. One was the more traditional one. You would have sliced bread or maybe hard cracker bread, Vasa. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Like hard, dry bread, basically.
And it's thinner, right?
Yes, depending on which one you eat. But yeah, and very typical to have sliced cheese, sliced brown cheese. If you don't know what it is, listener, look it up. Brown cheese, Norwegian thing. You should try it. Acquired taste, highly recommended. And it's not cheese. You have liver pate. You have pates that are a mix of fish and other things. Again, everything goes on sliced bread here usually. Boiled egg as well. You would slice it. You had our version of caviar. Caviar usually mixed with something else as well. Very typical to use butter in Norway or similar. Mayonnaise as well. Olive oil, not really a thing there.
Mayonnaise for breakfast.
Yes, but you don't have like a jar of mayonnaise on top. You have really small amounts to either add just like something a bit moist to your sandwich or something on top. You don't scoop it out and just have like a scoop it on top. It's maybe you have like a small package where you, like a plastic package, you cut a hole in the side and just have just the teensy wings. Smoked salmon, obviously, that is the thing. So I could go on and on, but you kind of get the picture here. Sliced bread with something on top.
So is that the same whether you're going to a restaurant, a breakfast place in Norway versus at home? Or is that just at home?
It's more at home. You will get something that's a tad similar in terms of like a bread roll that's cut in half. And we're leaning more towards the avocado toast now in the cafes and restaurants. But the concept of like slicing something and having like a good cheese or ham or something, yeah, that kind of overlaps in both camps there. So that's one side. It's bread with something. Then you had the other side here, which is cereals.
Cereal is like the international.
Yes, it's so American, and we love American. Like, I grew up watching everyone eating cornflakes. I could eat cornflakes. I could eat Frosties. I could eat Honey Smack. But what I could not eat was Fruit Loops. We never imported Fruit Loops, and you saw Fruit Loops in so many movies and series. I was like, I want the Fruit Loops, but it was not a thing.
I think they were illegal I think it's because of the ingredients. I think I read that somewhere when we were preparing for this. Like Fruit Loops have something in it that the European Union does not. Which is not surprising.
I'm
sorry that you didn't get a chance.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And is that kids, or because we're kind of talking about our childhood, but do you eat the same thing as a kid versus an adult for breakfast there?
As an adult, you eat similarly, but a tad more healthy. Like instead of the
Okay.
Frosties, which is like a sugar bomb, maybe you would eat something that's a bit more fiber, and you won't add sugar, but there's some other sweetener that you add to it. Maybe it's just
Mhm.
raisins, maybe it's the kind of milk that you put on. If you have lactose-free milk, it would taste a tad sweeter as well. Like yogurt, we did eat it often for breakfast, like yogurt with like strawberry flavors and similar as a kid. But it seems to have reached a new height now with yogurt drinks, different tastes with or without sugar. There are other things here as well, but I'm gonna stop there. I gave you like the most important details. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw the ball over to you and say or ask, which cereal was your favorite? And did you eat Fruit Loops?
I did like Fruit Loops. In the US, at least there was always a knockoff brand. So like every store had their version of Fruit Loops or their version of honeycombs, or there was a million different types. Did you ever have Fruity Pebbles?
I don't even know what that is. Let me Google it quickly.
Fruity Pebbles are like Fruit Loops but flat, and in my opinion much better.
With Fred
Um
Flintstone on the pack?
mhm. Yes. They used the Flintstones as a way to market.
Do you know what Fred Flintstone is called in Spanish?
No.
Pedro
No.
Piedra.
Fun fact. I've never heard that, no. I loved all cereals, I think, and that was, like, my typical breakfast growing up. When I got older, it was more like eggs, like, when I started playing sports and needing more energy, my dad would we would make eggs and just eat eggs, scrambled eggs, fry an egg and put it on a sandwich. But that's not the typical that's at home. Like, when you go out to a restaurant, the breakfast is the typical waffles, pancakes, eggs, bacon, 3 different types of meat, toast, biscuits and gravy. The American breakfast is kind of disgusting how much they put on your plate. But that's not, like, whatever. I would say most people probably don't just eat that every morning for breakfast.
Okay, maybe that's a good thing. Again, American movies, it will always be like this insanely heap of, as you said, pancakes with syrup. There's cereal. There's, what are those waffles called again that you pop in the
Eggo?
toaster? Eggos, yeah.
Mm.
And a rushed dad comes in, he just has a sip of coffee and it's like, oh, sorry, honey, I can't eat this 16 tons of breakfast. I need to run to the office. But then, so like that's one
That would be
perspective. And the other was when I visited my aunt, uncle, and cousins, they lived for like a year in the US. We visited them once and they were about to move into a house. So like the first couple of nights we were staying at a hotel with them, kind of like apartment hotel. They had breakfast, like a hall or restaurant there. I was baffled that there was nothing that was not sweet there. Meaning that if I grabbed a sausage or some meat, it was either glazed or had sugar in it. I was like, there's nothing here that's just salt.
It's bad, and I think it's still like that because every time I go back to the US, I notice a huge difference, like, the potato chips there are so salty, I can't even eat them now that I have, like, a Spanish palate. Yeah, everything has a ton of sugar or a ton of salt.
Even though on one hand you could say Norwegians are healthy and they take care of themselves. Yeah, for a lot of individuals that is true. But I notice with people like unconsciously just like moving throughout, going about their day and buying food, eating whatever, they are accustomed to very sweet food and very salty food in
Mm.
Norway. I noticed that like I love the food there still, but I get by with less sweet food here and less salty meat. That's all. I love both, but you do adapt.
We're changed people, Tony.
We're so integrated, like A students, no?
But the typical breakfast here, I think for all ages, is a piece of toast with whatever you want on it but toast.
Mm.
I don't know that they stray very far from having toast. If there's someone else in Spain that eats more than just toast for breakfast, please comment because I would be very shocked. My boyfriend was telling me that they would have a piece of toast every day for breakfast and a little bit of cereal. But he also told me that growing up, they never had frozen food. Like everything was freshly prepared. And maybe that's not everybody's experience, but because
Yeah.
his parents, they value good food. And so they very rarely went out to fast food. They always prepared everything fresh. He was telling me that they never had frozen food. They would always go to the market and buy the meat. It sounds like he ate very healthy compared to me.
Very
But again,
fortunate
yeah.
because I think you see this in every country. One is the effort that someone put into them eating healthy and their
Mhm.
loved ones. Another thing
Yeah.
is what options do you have? So
Right.
on one hand, if you live on the countryside, you're well connected in terms of like, hey, this guy has a fish, or you have a pretty okay salary, so you can go to the supermarket and buy like really fine quality stuff, or even better, you go to a fish market or like a meat market. But let's say you live in a big city. Let's say you're a single parent, and let's say your salary is the bare minimum. How are you going to get by? How are you going to pay rent? How are you going to keep the lights on? It is not by cooking dishes from the ground up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. To a certain degree, yes, but you have like this is immense pressure and you barely had time for a kid. Obviously, you're gonna go for some fast food. And I don't
Mhm.
blame them at all. Like there are nuances here, but like
Well,
some are more privileged, others are less, some are lazier, some put more effort.
right. Money is one thing, time is another. Especially in the US, it is expensive to eat healthy. It really is. A big box of spinach is like
Mm.
$8 or $9. I remember being like, oh my God, you know? And it's like, I understand why people don't want to eat salads there because it's not cheap. It's so much cheaper to just buy like a frozen pizza or whatever. So yeah, I guess depending on your family situation. I just see Spain as a more wholesome, they just value quality food, I think. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell us otherwise.